Welcome back, football fans from all around the world, to the grandest stage of them all, the FIFA World Cup 2026. Today, we are taking you back to relive the most gripping, chaotic, and emotionally charged moments from a defining fixture in the round of 32. It was a win-or-go-home, high-stakes collision between two footballing powerhouses, Germany and Paraguay. This monumental battle unfolded on the immaculate pitch of the Boston Stadium in Massachusetts, USA. Remember, this is the knockout stage, a brutal format where there is absolutely no safety net and no room for error. The winner earns a golden ticket to march on to the next round, while the loser faces instant elimination, pack their bags, and say a heartbreaking goodbye to their World Cup dreams. This definitive stakes transformed the 120 minutes at Boston Stadium into a legendary piece of football history. From the very first whistle, the atmosphere inside Boston Stadium reached a fever pitch. Both teams stepped onto the field with absolute determination, showing zero intention of playing a cautious or conservative game. Instead, they launched immediate attacks, treating the global audience to a magnificent display of end-to-end football. Throughout the vast majority of the first half, viewers witnessed a tactical masterclass in the art of defending. The backlines of both Germany and Paraguay functioned like solid concrete walls, closing down spaces and neutralizing threats with superb efficiency. Most notably, the goalkeepers on both ends turned in an extraordinary performance. A series of world-class acrobatic saves continuously denied every single clear-cut scoring attempt, leaving strikers frustrated and fans breathless as golden opportunities slipped away. However, just when everyone inside the stadium expected a scoreless stalemate at the break, a sudden explosion of drama turned the match on its head right before halftime. In the 41st minute, Paraguay executed a lightning-fast offensive combination. Working with incredible synergy, the duo of Julio and Chiso orchestrated a flawless sequence, slotting the ball past the German keeper and straight into the back of the net. This shocking opening goal sent the entire Paraguayan section of the stadium into utter ecstasy, sparking deafening celebrations. A 1-0 advantage for Paraguay was the scoreline as both teams headed into the tunnel after the first 45 minutes. As the second half commenced, facing a one-goal deficit and standing on the brink of elimination, the German Panzer had no choice but to commit to an all-out attack. They knew they had to find an equalizer to keep their tournament hopes alive. Germany pushed their defensive line high up the pitch, suffocating Paraguay with relentless pressure and creating multiple dangerous situations inside the penalty box. Eventually, Germany's unwavering persistence paid off handsomely. In the 53rd minute of the match, star player Kai Havertz stepped up to the plate, delivering a moment of pure class with a beautiful strike that tied the game at 1-1. Havertz's equalizer brought the game right back to square one, sending the intensity through the roof as the clock ticked down. Both nations desperately searched for a decisive match winner to seal the victory within regulation time. Yet the exceptional form of both goalkeepers once again became the defining story of the match, shutting down every dangerous attack. The final whistle of regular time blew with the score locked at 1-1, forcing this epic encounter into a grueling 30 minutes of extra time. By this point, physical exhaustion had clearly taken a massive toll on the players, with every run across the pitch looking incredibly heavy. However, the drama was far from over. During the extra time period, Germany managed to put the ball into the back of the net for a second time. The German bench and players erupted in wild celebrations, but their joy was short-lived. Following a tense video replay review, the referee overturned the goal. This controversial decision sparked intense debates and elevated the match's tension to a suffocating level. Despite the chaos, the scoreboard remained deadlocked at 1-1 until the end of the 120th minute. With the teams inseparable after extra time, the match moved to a nerve-wracking penalty shootout to decide who would move on. Germany took the first kick, and the immense psychological pressure showed immediately as the second-half savior, Kai Havertz, missed his spot kick. Conversely, the Paraguayan penalty takers displayed nerves of steel. One by one, Mauricio, Gustavo Gomez, and Matias Galarza stepped up and calmly converted their penalties with absolute precision. Even though a few players from both sides failed to convert their kicks in the subsequent rounds, Paraguay consistently maintained their advantage on the scoreboard. Finally, the moment of ultimate destiny arrived for Jose Canal. Stepping up for the crucial final penalty, he stared down the goalkeeper and coolly buried his shot into the back of the net, sealing a dramatic 4-3 shootout victory for Paraguay. It was a historic triumph and a massive upset in the round of 32 of the 2026 World Cup. The Paraguayan players exploded in jubilation, celebrating wildly on the pitch with their fans, while the German players collapsed to the ground, forced to exit the tournament in tears of bitter disappointment. Following the raw emotions and dramatic conclusion of this match, let us step back and analyze the tactical chess match that took place under a professional lens. This was far more than just an entertaining football game. It was an intense tactical battle between two completely contrasting footballing philosophies, playing out in a high-stakes World Cup knockout environment. Analyzing the first 45 minutes, the defensive structure implemented by both managers stands out as the most critical element to break down. Germany chose to focus on spatial control and dictates the tempo of possession, whereas Paraguay established a highly disciplined mid-to-low defensive block. The exceptional interventions made by both goalkeepers during the opening 30 minutes were not coincidental. Rather, they reflected the meticulous preparation of both coaching staffs for a knockout scenario, prioritizing defensive security over offensive risk-taking. However, Paraguay's opening goal in the 41st minute by Julio Enciso was not just a random moment of individual brilliance or good fortune. From a tactical perspective, it was the direct result of patient pressing and exploiting a temporary lapse in Germany's defensive transition. Right before the halftime whistle, Germany's defensive block exposed critical gaps due to a lack of lateral cover between the center backs and the fullbacks. The rapid passing combination and decisive finish by Julio Enciso delivered a massive psychological blow to the German side, forcing them to alter their entire tactical blueprint for the second half. VGS entering the second half, being a goal down meant Germany had their backs against the wall. They were forced to push their defensive line extremely high and implement a high-pressing system deep inside Paraguay's half. This structural shift allowed Germany to create an overwhelming territorial advantage, suffocating Paraguay's counterattacking outlets at the source. The logical reward for this tactical adjustment arrived in the 53rd minute through Kai Havertz's equalizing goal. From an analytical viewpoint, Havertz's goal perfectly demonstrated his elite spatial awareness and movement inside the penalty box. It was a flawless execution, from the delicate first touch to the precise finish into the corner, effectively neutralizing the psychological burden pressing down on the German squad. From that point until the end of regulation, the match transitioned into a war of attrition, testing both teams' physical endurance and transitional efficiency. The fact that both goalkeepers continued to perform at an elite level proved that despite mounting fatigue, the structural integrity of both defensive units never completely fractured. As the match extended into the 30 minutes of extra time, physical stamina became the primary tactical variable on the pitch. When fatigue sets in and the brain lacks optimal oxygenation, systemic defensive errors naturally increase. Germany believed they had finally capitalized on one of these defensive lapses to score their second goal. However, the referee's decision to disallow the goal after a video replay review became the single most influential psychological turning point of the entire match. In sports psychology and tactical analysis, having a potential match-winning goal, chalked off by video review during extra time, delivers a devastating mental blow to a team. It creates a massive emotional deficit. The German players had expended their remaining physical energy and momentum on that specific sequence, and when the goal was disallowed, they fell into a state of frustration, lacking the physical sharpness required to break down Paraguay's resilient defense in the remaining minutes. A penalty shootout is never a mere lottery. Instead, it is the ultimate test of a player's mental fortitude, technical consistency, and heart rate control under maximum pressure. The fact that Kai Havertz, who had been Germany's savior in the second half, missed the opening penalty instantly, put the German team in a precarious position. This miss triggered a negative psychological domino effect, transferring immense pressure onto the subsequent German penalty takers. In stark contrast, Paraguay's execution from the penalty spot was a masterclass in composure. Players like Mauricio, Gustavo Gomez, and Matias Galarza displayed remarkable emotional control. They maintained mechanical consistency, managing their heart rates and beating the goalkeeper with clinical finishes into the corners of the net. Even when subsequent rounds saw misses from both teams due to mounting pressure, Paraguay's psychological foundation remained secure because of the early advantage established in the opening round. Jose Canal's decisive final penalty was not just a converted spot kick to end a football match, it stood as the ultimate symbol of Paraguay's cold-blooded discipline and mental fortitude throughout 120 minutes of intense warfare. A 4-3 shootout victory was a fully deserved outcome for a team that capitalized on critical moments, absorbed relentless pressure, and maintained psychological stability when it mattered most. Conversely, Germany exits the tournament with harsh lessons to learn regarding defensive focus in the closing stages of a half and execution under pressure from the 11-meter spot.